Today I'm going to start this off just a little bit different from how I usually do to make a comment on something I've observed in the past. You get in a trucker's forum, just about any trucker's forum, somebody somewhere is eventually going to bring up ice road truckers and how they'd like to do that. And my comment to them is always the same thing. Well, why don't you run the Northwest for a year before you try to do that to get yourself some experience in some heavy snow, chaining up and things like that? And the response is always the same. I don't chain up, you're crazy, only a crazy person would run up in the Northwest. So the thought crosses my mind, what the hell are you even thinking about doing ice road truckers for? Because it's a complete waste of time for you to think about something that you wouldn't even try on a normal daily basis. Okay, so let's dive off into what this video is about. Auto socks versus chains, or just auto socks, because I can compare it to chains because I've used chains in the past, but I'm also using auto socks now. You've seen a lot of videos regarding how they kind of come apart on you. I'm going to do a lot to explain that as well during this video as we go along. I ran the auto socks for a little over 100 miles total on this particular trip, and I was impressed with how well they performed. Stopping in grades, in pull-out areas on grades and taking back off was no problem. There's no wheel spin, just as long as you made sure you had it in low gear when you went to take off. And to give you an idea, I ran Williamette Pass empty. And that's just something I don't take lightly there. I mean, I would have been nervous even running chains with empty because the winds can get up pretty high there. And that is a concern to me whether I'm running chains, auto socks, or nothing. Because running empty up through there in the snow and ice is not a game, and it's not to be played lightly. Getting on with the story here, I run the auto socks for the complete journey to the customer. About 10 miles from the customer, I saw what I thought was clear road, or where the ice was coming off. That was at Sand Creek, I believe it is. But I pulled off in the chain up, chain off area just before there to get a good look. And what it was is Oregon, and usually being Oregon, had spread slag all the way down the grade from top to bottom because they had had a wreck there earlier. So what I was looking at was the slag, and it's about 2 miles from top to bottom. So I just eased on down through there trying to stay in the snow as much as possible, but they had done a really good job of spreading that slag, so there was no way for me to avoid it. And any of you that have taken the time to look, that slag has just small, really sharp pieces of gravel. I guess it's volcanic rock that's been crushed up. I don't know what it's comprised of, but I know it's sharp and it cuts things. When I got off into the chain up area and chain off area, before I started down the hill, the socks were in perfect conditions. When I got down the hill and took the socks off, about half of them, there were 6 on the truck, about half of them looked like they had been shot with buckshot. The slag had just literally put holes in them. Now, to give you an idea how simple these were, I stopped to put these on. It took me about 20 minutes to get them on. It took less than 10 to get them off. Just jump out of the truck, reach out, pull them over the tires, on all 6 tires, pull the truck up about 5 feet, walk back to the back of the truck, pick everything up. I threw mine in the back of the trailer to let the water drip off of them so that when I got where I was going, I could fold them up and put them back in the side box without getting on anything. But to give you an idea of exactly how good the traction was, I got to the customer to drop trailer, and their parking lot was a mess. There was another driver around there dropping his trailer. He had on a full set of chains and couldn't get out from underneath his trailer. Had to find some boards to stick up under his tires to let the chains bite into him to get him out. I had the same problem, but I didn't have anything on my tires. I jumped out and put 2 auto socks on one side, pulled right out from underneath my trailer. Total time I spent there trying to deal with it, maybe 10 minutes. I don't know how long he'd been there. He was there when I got there and was hunting pieces of lumber to put under his tires. He did get out of there before me, but I can assure you it didn't take me as long as it took him to get out. So do I give an auto sock a pass or a fail? Well, I'm going to give it both. If you're running Oregon, carry some chains with you and only run the auto socks when you're actually running on snow and ice. If you start running on slag or bare pavement, Don't be putting auto socks on, put on chains.